$502,249. Maren.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Supervisor Klein, Supervisor Humphrey. We are bringing this agreement to you today for the Assessor, Recorder, Treasurer, and Finance Departments to upgrade our systems and effectively to go to a cloud-hosted facility that would alleviate some of the weight on Gila County IT infrastructure and make things connected to our Active Directory so that everybody's login to their computer would log them into this system and would improve our audit outcomes.
Okay, thank you, Maren. Supervisor Humphrey.
Yesterday I had a lot of questions, but
Okay.
from Mr. O'Driscoll sent an excellent explanation of kind of how this is going to work and how this is going to help Gila County. So it made me a whole lot more comfortable with it. So it answered a lot of my questions.
Great.
So thank you.
Yeah. Supervisor Klein?
I'm good, thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, same thing. So thank you, Michael, for the clarification to help us, because there was someone that pointed out that this could be redundant or something. So anyway, thank you, Maren. With that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve 2 software as a service agreement with Tyler Technologies Incorporated for a combined total not to exceed amount of $502,249 as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you very
you.
much. Item 2E, information, discussion, action to approve amendment number 2 to inmate work contract number 22-06426, road building, automotive maintenance, and construction projects with the Arizona Department of Corrections, rehabilitation and reentry, revising the scope of services to include the hourly rate from 50 cents to $1.50. Olivia Todd, how are you?
Good morning. Happy New Year, Chairman,
Happy New Year.
Supervisors. The Arizona Department of Corrections Rehabilitation and Reentry has sent us this amendment number 2. They are wanting to increase the hourly rate that is paid to their inmate labor from 50 cents an hour to $1.50 per hour. This is all across the entire state. It's not just particular to Gila County. But it does impact us. We're looking at going from, in fiscal year 25, we spent about $7,200 on inmate labor for projects with Public Works, with the landfill, with facilities at the fairgrounds, and with animal control. We use inmate labor at all of those places, and it was about $7,200 in FY25. So it would be about 3 times that, coming up in the next fiscal year if the trend were to continue.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions. I think that their labor is beneficial to the county, providing that they are managed properly.
Supervisor Klein.
And I would say the same thing. But furthermore, I'd also say is these programs, these work programs for the inmates, that means a lot to them. And I can only imagine what it's like staring at four walls every day and not getting out. So it does help put them back together, I guess you might say. And for the work we get out of them and the cost to the county, I think it's a really good project. And so this is the second amendment. Is there 1 or 2 more to go after this, Vivian?
We don't know how many amendments there may be coming up. This contract goes through April of 2027, but we may renew beyond that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you. So who pays for this, by the way?
Each of the departments pays out of their budget.
So this would be out of corrections.
Well, it would be Public Works,
I see.
landfill, facilities, and animal control.
Okay. All right. Thank you. With that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve amendment number 2 to inmate work contract number 22-064-26 with the Arizona Department of Corrections, Rehabilitation and Reentry as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Item 2F is information, discussion, action to approve amendment number 2 to the intergovernmental agreement number 091423, fuel purchases between Gila County and the town of Miami, which authorizes the town of Miami to purchase fuel from the county for the period of November 19th, 25 through November 18th, 26. Oh, good morning, David. I was expecting someone else.
Morning, Chairman, members of the board. So this is a IGA we've had going on since 2019. It allows the town of Miami to purchase fuel from us, and it allows them to become compliant with the Arizona Department of Transportation, their ADOT policies, which will allow the town to continue transit services to the community. Them purchasing fuel from us does not impact the Gila County's ability to provide fuel to the county's fleet of our vehicles. I'll take any questions if you have them.
Thank you, David. Supervisor Humphrey.
No questions.
Supervisor Klein.
No, I don't either. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you.
I call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve amendment number 2 to intergovernmental agreement number 091423 between Gila County and the town of Miami as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
A motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Item 2G, information, discussion, action to approve economic development agreement number 2026-0171 between Gila County and the Hayden-Winkelman Little League in the amount of $500 to support their Little League season, which the board is determined to be for the benefit of the public. Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is something I've supported now for quite a while, and it really means a lot to these kids and their teams. It helps them with uniforms and whatnot like that, and some necessities that they need. So I'd take any questions, and this is constituent funds.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey?
I have no question.
And neither do I. Thank you, Woody, for doing that. With that, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve economic development agreement number 2026-0171 between Gila County and the Hayden-Winkelman Little League as presented, and which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Item 2H, information, discussion, action to approve another economic development agreement, number 2026-0170 between Gila County and the Gila County Cattle Growers Association in the amount of $5,000 to support their annual Salute to Ranching Dinner and their auction, which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public. Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've supported the cattle growers now for a very long time. I've been an officer on their board, the whole 9 yards. They do a lot for the county. They bring a lot of people together in this county. We once held a yearly auction at Birch's Stockyards down there. I think the last auction we had generated somewhere a little over $2 million on that auction. But since then, we haven't had it, and then they need some help just keeping that organization together and running, and this will be out of my constituent fund as well.
Supervisor Humphrey?
Yeah, I think that's great. As a matter of fact, I talked to Kathy. I thought we were gonna split this. And so, yeah, cause I support him too. I'm with you 100%. And I talked to Kathy about splitting this with you.
Cool.
And so, yeah, I guess we can work that out somehow.
Yeah, I thought it was in the agenda item, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, Tim.
Oh, okay.
You want to be a part of this, Steve?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because I support it too. So when is this event going to occur?
They'll be wrapping now for next year
It's already been done, right? Yeah. It was here in Globe, right?
at the fairgrounds, yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so the agreement is to split the 5,000. And anyway, I'll call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve Economic Development Agreement number 2026-0170 between Gila County and the Gila County Cattle Growers Association as presented, in which the board has determined to be for the benefit of the public.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Yeah, I'll say we need to continue supporting our cattlemen, and Gila County has a great heritage in that. And I'll say this, I was reading something about Charlie Meadows. If you don't know who Charlie Meadows is, his family was the first people to bring cattle into Gila County in the Tono Basin. That's what I was reading. And so, near famous person in Gila County, another kind of almost like a Buffalo Bill guy. Anyway. Okay, before I wax on too much more, let's go on to item 2I. Information, discussion, action to review the bid submitted for request for proposal number 06102025, which is the scrap metal recycling services, and award a contract number 06102025 to SA Recycling LLC for an initial term of January 6th, 26 to January 5, 27. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Klein, Supervisor Humphrey. As part of the municipal solid waste services that are provided by Gila County, we accept scrap metal at our landfills. This ultimately prevents things like Freon from going into the landfill. It increases diversion. It saves on airspace. Since early 2025, due to the lack of a qualified recycler that's been on contract with the county, we've been unable to remove scrap metal. So we came to the board with this RFP. We went out to bid and we got this proposal from SA Recycling to provide comprehensive scrap metal services to the landfills. This is going to include sorting, baling, transporting, Freon removal for our scrap metal at both of our sites for the next calendar year. Be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Aaron. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions, Aaron. Just congratulations and thank you. I mean, the dump's been a mess. You've come in, you've helped us get rid of this scrap metal, you helped bring in chipping. So thank you very much for all that you've done for our landfills.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Supervisor Klein.
We have quite a mountain of scrap out there.
Oh,
Yes.
That was impressive. I looked at it as well. Yeah, thanks for putting this together. I'm kind of excited. Maybe we have a recycler we can get some money from instead of just giving it away and letting it walk out our gates. And so I think that's a huge improvement. So, but furthermore than that is going forward at somewhere along the way, I'd like to sit down with you and Christine and talk about other options versus contracting this out.
Hello, work session. Hello, work session.
Yeah, it'd be a good one, I think. So,
And I agree, Supervisor. I think that if we pursue it the right way, I think there's good feasibility in the county doing that. And depending on, you know, how the scrap metal prices move over time, the county might be able to come out from that, you know, financially pretty well for what we might invest in. And that would just be more money that would be able to support our landfills as a whole.
well, keep it in the back of your mind because I'll be hitting you up and Christine about it. And like Tim said, this would be a good work session discussion. So, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Aaron, I have a question or two. So how is this set up? Do we pay them to come and do this, or do we come to an agreement on a percentage of what's there? Do we make money? Do we break even? What do we do here?
So the contract itself is not costing us anything to have the metal removed. The company that's coming in, they're furnishing their own people, their own baler, their own trucks. They're handling all of the hauling as well as the Freon removal from all the white goods, the sorting. I believe, and I would have to check the contract proposal itself, but I think that the flat rate that was in there was for all the mixed metal, it was $11 a net ton. With no costs going out, we have the money that we take in over the scale when the metal comes in, and then we're making that money from the hauler to buy it from us to take it to a recycler.
So we actually do benefit
Yes,
from this process.
yes.
And I know it's been a practice, maybe you can help me, this is unrelated, but it is a pertinent question, that we've allowed the public to do some scrapping of, some picking through this pile on their own.
Yes,
And I'm worried about liability, first of all, if they pull something out and a whole pile falls on them, and whether or not that's a cost-effective way of having public property utilized.
yes, so the landfill, as it stands right now, there is a salvaging ticket process where if somebody were to find something that's there, they could pay a salvage ticket at the scale and remove that material. However, Christine and I just had a discussion on this subject in the last week or so, and one of the items that we wanted to bring to the board was discussing how we wanted to proceed with that going forward. Being that we're getting these contracts in place and sorted out, do we want to ultimately remove the salvaging ticket process altogether and say, no, that material can't be removed even if it follows appropriate safety guidelines, or did we want to maybe refresh that and keep it in place? So that is a discussion that we've been having that we wanted to actually discuss with the board to see, what your thoughts were on it. Because in most landfills anymore, purely from the liability standpoint, in most, not all, but I would say better than 95%, salvaging is more or less a thing of the past. But it's been something that's kind of came and went in our landfills over the years.
Thanks for that clarification.
So is that gonna be another work session?
Well, we probably do need to have some updates, especially on the brush pile too. We haven't talked about
Sure.
that today, so. Anyway, let's stick with this one, and I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to award contract number 06102025 to SA Recycling LLC as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item 2J is information, discussion, action to approve amendment number 5 to professional services contract 072622 solid waste landfill services with Stephen B. Smith, renewing the term of the contract from January 1, 26 through December 31, 26, and increasing the maximum compensation for the new term to a not to exceed total of $367,840. Aaron.
Yes, so Stephen B. Smith has been on contract as the landfill engineer since 2022 with the option of renewing this contract every year through this year, which is the last renewal. They provide our professional services, so basically our routine monitoring, our permit filings with ADEQ. They work with us to make sure that a lot of our mandated trainings are up to date. They do our water sampling, methane monitoring. They do a lot of our design work for infrastructure changes and assist us with their records. And then for this year, we've actually added in, so part of the reason for the way the price increase is now, with a lot of the projects at the landfill, we have them to update and revise the SWIPs for the Russell Gulch landfill, which are already due, and they're going to be due again as we proceed through with the Cell 3B. And then the cleaning, liner repair, and CQA for the leachate evaporation pond repairs, providing the CQA and monitoring for the closure of the center pond at Buckhead Mesa, along with the final piping design and CQA for that, the conceptual design and feasibility studies for the Buckhead Mesa landfill expansion, and the permit drawings and permitting for the Buckhead Mesa landfill expansion. Those are the items that are being added into that for this year as we're moving forward with the Townsite Act and various repairs on top of the routine monitoring services that they already provide. I'd be happy to take any questions on that.
Supervisor Humphrey.
I guess I have no questions.
Supervisor Klein.
I got one, maybe it's a loaded one, but anyway, these folks have been with us for a while, Aaron. And are we currently up to snuff on all of our certificates and inspections and all of that?
With the exception of this, with the exception of the one SWIP for Russell Gulch, we are up to date on all of our permits and inspections. For the items that I had brought to the board earlier this year that had been lapsed, those were items that were on the county, and they provided the help to us to get all of that up to date and in compliance.
Okay, so we're pretty much back on track?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So Aaron, my question would be, some of the things you listed seem complicated, as if they should have a professional, and then some of them seemed almost routine, applying for this or having a permit filed. So can you help me understand why we need to pay for that outside of, say, the department doing that themselves?
Sure. So the department, so an example of that would be when we do water sampling within the department. Every quarter, as part of our aquifer protection permits, we go through, we do water sampling of our under drains, our leachate systems, because we have to make sure that water that goes into the landfill essentially stays in the landfill, and water that comes near the landfill does not enter the landfill. That's the most basic way to put it. And one of the ways that we ensure that our landfill systems are not leaking, that they're not getting into any waterways, is we draw water samples every week through multiple different sites at both facilities. And then every quarter, all of those different volumes have to be put together into reports that are sent over to ADEQ for approval, because we have basically acceptable rates of things like suspended solids, acceptable leakage rates that are all within our permits. So the work that they do is the landfill staff, they will actually go through, they will run the pumping, they will pull the water samples, and they will keep all of the logs up to date, tracking the water volumes. Those logs are then submitted at the end of the quarter to our engineers, who go through, they run all the calculations, they prepare the final reports, they make sure that the lab results are coming back for water that we have to have tested every quarter, and they're compiling that into a report that goes to ADEQ. And they do that same process when we go through things for methane monitoring and tracking. So there's parts of it that we perform, and then there's parts of it as required by a qualified engineer that they're performing.
Okay. All right, thank you for that explanation. And with that, if there's no more questions, I'll call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve amendment number 5 to professional services contract number 072622 with Stephen B. Smith as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, supervisors.
2K. Information, discussion, action to adopt resolution number 260102, declaring that should there be a shortfall in Section 8 housing assistant payment funding for the fiscal year ending 2025, which could result in the termination of assistance to assisted families, and grant permission to use unrestricted net position in an amount not to exceed $15,000 to avoid this outcome. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. HUD is one of our programs that does Section 8 vouchers. And this item went around a few times with the county attorney and with the clerks trying to get the wording correct. HUD does require this resolution to move line items. So that's really what what they're talking about. The unrestricted amount of money will be an administrative cost. So would you like me to read the resolution?
Not unless the other two would like that.
Okay.
So any questions, Supervisor Humphrey?
I have no question.
Supervisor Klein?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good as well, Paula. Thank you.
Okay,
With
thank
that, I'll
you.
call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt resolution number 26-01-02.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, item 2L is information, discussion, action. Approve amendment number 1 to the IGA number DI 25-002432 between the Arizona Department of Economic Security and the Gila County Community Services Division, revising the budget to $325,579.23, including $85,000 for eviction prevention that must be fully expended by June 30th, 2026. Paula.
Yes, this is also a budget that we have had in the past, and this is, they're gonna continue to add more money. When the government did the shutdown, we were only given a certain amount of money, and this is just adding, the money that we were funded initially. So we'll come back probably with a couple more amendments. And the 85,000 is actually new money for the eviction, and we're really excited to have that, especially with all the flooding and everything going on throughout these communities, that we were able to use this eviction prevention funding. So thank you for looking into this and hopefully approving it.
Thank you, Paula. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no question.
Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Paula. I'll call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve amendment number 1 to intergovernmental agreement number DI 25002432 between the Arizona Department of Economic Security and the Gila County Community Services Division as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Item 2M, information, discussion, and action to approve amendment number 1 to contract number CTR 068701-GC1, a secondary data analysis, Safe Streets for All with Community Alliance Consulting LLC to extend the contract term through December 31st, 2026. Update the scope of work and increase the dollar amount of the contract by $80,000 for a new not to exceed amount of $205,000. Kaylee, good to see you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Supervisors. It's nice to see you all. So we recently brought you the Safe Streets for All contract with Community Alliance Consulting. Shortly after that, we were awarded some additional funding for Safe Routes to School, which goes really well with Safe Streets for All. So we've expanded their scope to include that Safe Routes to School initiative, added some administrative funding for them, and then their state contract was renewed through the end of 2026. So that is.
Okay, thank you, Kaylee. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no question.
Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, Kaylee.
Yeah, thank you, Kaylee, and Happy New Year. I'll call for motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve amendment number 1 to contract number CTR 068701-GC1 with Community Alliance Consulting LLC as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thank
Thank you.
you. All right. Moving on to item 3, which is our consent agenda items. We have consent agenda items A through G. Supervisor Humphrey, would you like to discuss one or more of those separately?
No, I'm good.
Supervisor Klein.
I'm good to go. Thank you.
And I'll call for a motion to approve consent agenda items A through G.
So move, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right. Call to the public. Anyone here locally in Globe that would like to speak before the supervisors at this time? No. Kaylee, anybody on there that would like to speak to us? No. How many did you have?
We had 15 today, but I had some technical issues over here, so it's kind of
Okay. All right.
not too reliable numbers today.
Thank you. Tyler, you don't look like you have anyone there. It's a lonely place. Thank you for that. Let's move on to item number 5, which is our reports. Manager Menlove.
Mr. Chairman, just one thing I wanted to bring to your attention. I attended the ADOT Board of Directors meeting in December. They were discussing, as part of their ADOT board meeting, they're doing a statewide traveling tour to hear input from residents of the various locations, areas of Gila County. When they were discussing the areas that they had scheduled for doing this presentation, this discussion, they did not include any locations in Gila County. So I made sure to get to the director of ADOT there at that meeting and said, we are more than willing to host ADOT here in Gila County and look forward to scheduling some time. And if they need to coordinator, that we would be glad to, as Gila County, do that. I received an email this morning looking for a time that we can get together to schedule those meetings with ADOT to discuss our transportation needs with, to have input to the ADOT board. So wanted to report that that'll be coming up here shortly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
Held a team project, review meeting with Public Works on the 31st. I went on a site visit with, Michael's team, with Michael, Josh, Jeff, and Ryan, to tour of, some water issues, water leak issues. We think it's the city, but it's in the county, so working with the city, I have a meeting with Paul Jepson coming up tomorrow to discuss some of what we had found when we did a site visit. And I'll hold a Tonto Basin community meeting tonight at 5.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just prior to the holidays, I had a discussion with Congressman Eli Crane. Really good visit with him. I thanked him for his support and leadership in getting us the secure rural school money and all he had done there, and also his support on the PILT programs as well. We talked about some other projects that's coming up. One of them is with the Tonto Apache's proposal for the land acquisition around Payson. So had some pretty good discussions over that, and overall it was good. I've got a meeting set up with him when we go to DC a little later on in February. And so that's it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Well, it's over the holidays, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I noticed you included this in my packet. This is information on insurance companies that are willing to provide fire insurance to homeowners where that seems to be troubling to a lot of people. And so I have that information if anyone would like to have that. Didn't we share that with you guys though already? Did we share that? Yeah, okay. And then I've been invited to the 30th Annual Legislative Day, January 20th. I'll be going to that. And also the governor is wanting to come to Gila County, which I think is good, to come to Payson at the casino and give the State of the State address again. And so I'll know more information about that tomorrow. And of course, we would all be invited to attend that. And so I think it's good that the governor wants to come to Gila County and when she has other choices. So that works out good. The chamber is kind of sponsoring that or putting that together. Other than that, yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize, but could I have Mr. O'Driscoll come up? And the declaration of an emergency was denied by FEMA.
Yeah.
You've gotten that notice, but if I could get Mr. O'Driscoll to give us an update on what our options are and what's going on with the state, with DEMA and that, because that's, well, let me, if that's okay, have Mr. O'Driscoll give a report on that.
Okay, yeah, and that was my report anyway, so come on up, Michael.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board, and Mr. Menlove. So, Carl Melford participated in a DEMA strategy meeting probably about an hour and a half ago to talk about the declaration being denied by FEMA. So I forwarded that information to all of your inboxes, but I'll just go ahead and read it out loud if that's okay. Carl wanted to provide an update from today's strategy meeting with DEMA. The focus of the meeting was to develop a coordinated approach for appealing FEMA's denial of our federal declaration request for the September flooding events. The state of Arizona will be leading the appeal and drafting the final letter, with Gila County supporting by supplying key documentation. The strategy developed in this meeting centers on leveraging social vulnerability data to demonstrate significant unmet needs in both Gila and Mojave counties, which were greatly affected by the floods. In addition, the state plans to highlight its record of supporting disaster incidents, including assistance from the provided following the Telegraph Fire through House Bill 2001 And that was the funding, if you recall, that we used to help the residents and businesses recover from the Telegraph fire and flooding after that. Gila County Emergency Management will also support this effort by providing documentation that Gila County's record of being self-sufficient through lower level disasters in the past. That seems to be the direction the federal government is wanting states to take care of your own business first and then come to them afterwards. So we're trying to document that as Gila County in the past, especially 6-7 years, we've done an exceptional job in handling these massive disasters on our own from residents and within Gila County government. So we're trying to at least let the federal government know that we've become extremely good at taking care of our own evacuations and fire support here. This will also include presenting the challenges by having multiple flooding events in a short period of time, essentially disrupting and prolonging recovery efforts. So that's the strategy we're going to take on Gila County side with emergency management and the assistance of Public Works, Christine and Homero and Carl. But we do have to work with the state. They're leading the appeal process. That's the law in this particular case. So we're doing whatever we can to support DEMA, and DEMA's working with the governor's office to see if we can appeal this and get it overturned. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Michael. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions. I appreciate the appeal, especially after many, many uncontrolled fires in our area. I would very much like to see this overturned because I do believe that a lot of that is a lot of the reason for a lot of our flooding.
Yes, sir. And just to follow up on that comment, Supervisor, members of the board, there was the threshold for federal declarations is $13 million. And we've documented approximately $30 million worth of damage. But DEMA has also added to that, so they've bumped it from 30 to about $100 million in damages across the state in Gila County. So that's the figure that we're gonna, DEMA's gonna go, and the state of Arizona's gonna go back to FEMA with. So, and if you want any other information, specifics on that $100 million, I'm gonna ask Carl to go ahead and send that out to you if you would like.
Supervisor Klein.
Just a waiting game, but I do appreciate the governor for pushing on this and appealing that decision. And so hopefully it will get overturned and we can go on, because that's a big task for us as a county right there.
Yes, sir.
Financially devastating to us and almost minuscule amount of money to the federal government. They're used to spending billions on disasters. So
Yes, sir.
it's yeah, thank you for all your effort.
You betcha, sir.
Thank you for that report. Anything else? If there's nothing else, then we are adjourned. Thank you.